Hello, hello, hello. I can't tell if any stuff's going on right now.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, hey, everyone. Welcome to NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. I am your host, Main Event Mike, and we are filling in for Russ Wayne. He is in the house, but not on your screen. But that's okay. I'm here. And for some reason, I can't get on the screen either. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
I got to take this off. Actually, I can do a little producing for you.
Why don't you do a little producing for me while I figure out what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out from my phone.
I got to go live into the Hallis Hall Report. We're going live into Detroit Lions main event, the Villain Squad, and the YouTube channel, and Detroit Lions news as well. Save changes. There we go. And we are going. And then I'm going to put the link in the comments as well. For some reason, I don't know why my camera is not working.
What's up, Scotty Reno? Main Event Mike, add to the stage. All right.
Hey, there I am. You did that. Did you do that for me?
I did that for you. And Ken Dobie's in the back, too.
Oh, we're going to have to let Ken Dobie in. Let's just go through a couple of things real quick. It is I, Main Event Mike, filling in for Russell Wayne as the host. He is here in the room with us. Be sure to put your comments in. It is an open mic forum here today. We are going to talk about all four teams in this division, with the Chicago Bears and Minnesota Vikings gaining a victory this week, and the Lions and the Packers suffering some devastating losses. I would say devastating for two different reasons, though. Lions devastating loss because they just got blown out. It was 28-0 at halftime. A disgraceful performance by the Lions, and a disheartening loss for the Packers because they lose to the the Broncos. So yeah, two tough losses and two big victories. Minnesota Vikings with a huge victory over one of the best teams in the league, San Francisco 49ers, and the Bears taking care of business at home against the Las Vegas Raiders and their two backup quarterbacks. So we welcome to the program now a Bears aficionado, and from the Hallis Hall Report, it is Mr. Ken Dobie. How are you, Ken?
Hey, good morning, Mike. Hey, good morning, Russell.
Good morning.
Well from the trip.
I love that Honolulu blue and white you're wearing today.
Oh, no, this is Argentina blue and white today.
We'll just fake it and pretend that it's Lions blue, okay? We're just going to
okay.
I mean, you're the only guy with a Willie Galt jersey on his wall, so you can wear Lions blue, in my opinion.
Signed Willie Galt, and this is a Messi, so, you know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Lionel Messi plays for the Detroit Lions or not, but.
Yeah. Are you a big soccer fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do you see that right there?
I have no idea what the hell that is.
Bayern Munich.
I have no idea.
The 11 straight league champions.
Oh, I thought it was a beer sign or something.
No.
Yeah, well, if I was a Bears fan, I'd like soccer too. Welcome to the program, Ken.
Good morning.
What do you think? I want your takeaway from this 30-12 win that the Bears achieved over the Raiders, and now two wins in the win column. But the question that's on everyone's mind, though, Tyson Bagent,
Secret Bagent, man.
Are you ready to sign off on Justin Fields and let the kid take over?
No.
No. That is the shortest answer Ken Dobie's ever given to any question ever. Explain, please elaborate.
He's the backup, just as
Okay.
a starter.
Okay.
I mean, look. I mean, they got the win. Sure, he managed the game well. Sure, everything was short. Okay, nothing got pushed downfield. It was a completely different game plan than what you see when Fields is in. But he's the backup until such time as he isn't. And I mean, coaching staff has said it. Um, he's look. I'm happy because I know we've got that solid backup we need.
Mhm.
You know, you got to have a solid top backup in this league.
You do.
He's going to be that guy, you know. And I think when Justin gets back, we're those guys, even between the two of them, they understand it. They're 1-2. So Fields is going to be out this week. It looks like we'll get to see Fields week 9 in NOLA. I'll be at that game.
Oh, really?
Yep. So that's probably when we'll see Fields come back. So unless he completely shits the bed, like it becomes the worst quarterback in the NFL, which I don't see happening, his job is probably pretty safe.
Okay. What if Bagent goes out there, looks great in against the Chargers, and comes out of there with a win? Will that sway you at all, or no?
No, it's the same thing. It's he's the backup. I mean,
All right.
you know, and the thing is though too, like, you know, if you watch the game, which I'm sure you didn't watch the Bears game because you were watching the Lions game, it was a lot of very short, simple plays. I won't say they dumbed it down, but they kept it short, managed kind of thing.
Yeah,
There are a lot of things I like that he did. Don't get me wrong, but you could tell they weren't operating with the big playbook. You know, pushing the ball, you know, 20, 30 yards downfield, stuff like that. It was a lot of short dumps, stuff like that. So, I mean, he was good, but he's the backup.
All right, but I get that. But let me break it to you, Ken. Justin Fields, that was how he was making his living too. Okay, was short passes. Let DJ Moore, let Khalil Herbert create, get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. That's what all the Bears fans said when we were knocking. We were knocking them. We were not. Look, I watched all the highlights and I watched some of the replay of the game afterwards so that I could talk about it and know what the hell I'm talking about. But Justin Fields, that was how he was making his living too, by the way, with short passes. I think the kid is great. Tyson Bagent. Yeah, it was his first game. He comes along with a win. I mean, I know he went to a Division II school. This was a great move, though. Let's give the kid his flowers. Let's give him his props. He comes from a Division II school. He definitely set some records, but he goes down. He plays at the Senior Bowl where Luke Getsy coached the team. And he's an undrafted free agent. He actually, I heard that he had his choice of a few different teams that wanted him to sign with them as an undrafted free agent. He chose the Bears because of the relationship he built with Luke Getsy at the Senior Bowl. And lo and behold, I mean, best case scenario we're thinking is this kid does well in camp. He makes it to the practice squad. That's was the hope for him. But no, he comes in as a great camp. He beats out PJ Walker.
Oh, it's a great story.
And then he wins his first start against a team that just beat the Packers, who destroyed the Bears. So I've got to think that Tyson Bagent's got a little bit more street cred than what Bears fans are giving him. I agree, though. You've got to see what you've got in Justin Fields. I don't think you give the kid the job just yet. But like you said, you got to have a good backup in this league, and I like it. What will it take for Justin Fields to get benched to bring the kid in for you, Ken?
If he starts giving the ball away, like, you know, if he can't manage, starts throwing a lot of interceptions, you know, plays terribly, I mean, then yeah, now there's more of an impetus, I think, than there would have been before because we know Bagent is good. But, like, you know, I still want to see more out of Bagent. And look, I want to see this week's going to be interesting because now the Chargers have a full game on tape, plus the 2 quarters or so from when Justin got hurt. So now they can really scheme for Bagent. Let's see how he does now. You know, backup quarterbacks, and it happens everywhere in the league. A guy comes in the game, second, third quarter, does well for his team. Oh my God, look how he's so much better than our starter. And then 2 weeks later, now when teams have tape and they can game plan for him, oh, this guy isn't that good. You know, I don't want him to fall into that. I think this kid is good. He's got great awareness. He's got a ton of experience. I mean, he played, 40-some games in college, which is more than most, right? So he's seen a lot. You can't discount any of it. I think right now he's probably, you know, your top-tier backup in the league. right? With the opportunity to become more. And if Justin Fields shits the bed completely and terribly, then they make that change. But I don't see that happening, week 9, week 10. Maybe it's a week 11, 12 kind of thing. If he's really playing bad, the team isn't responding to him, to Fields, then maybe that becomes a thing. But in either case, Mike, I think all this this trash, they're trash links. We know what they are. With the Bears are looking at quarterbacks in a draft, that's done and over with. I think between Fields or Bagent, the Bears aren't drafting anything in any kind of early round at all in the quarterback position. That's a position that we're not looking at in the draft anymore. Between either Fields, keeping both, or if Fields has to be gone, then Bagent becomes your new Purdy.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you, right now, Justin Fields is throwing the ball at just over a 50% completion clip. Okay. That's pretty bad, Ken. That's bad. His record as a starter is abysmal. I'm not sure how much worse you're thinking that Justin Fields needs to be before you yank him for someone else. And hold on. And I totally disagree with you. I think Ryan Poles is absolutely looking for a quarterback. 100%. If Justin Fields shits the bed, like you say, and they ship him out, trade him, do whatever they're going to do with him, Tyson Bagent is not he's going to be the answer. They're going to be looking for a quarterback in this draft in the first couple of rounds. Mark my words. Go ahead.
Well, also Fields is pushing the ball downfield more. Also, if you look at the game against the Broncos, if you look at the Washington game, we had, phenomenal quarterback rating. He was the best quarterback in the league for those 2 weeks. We've seen it from Justin that he can do it, but the game plan was completely different against the Raiders than it had been the previous 3 weeks. I mean, the game plan was completely different. You're shaking your head no, but you were watching the game.
Ken, I watched the Washington game, and I'm going to tell you that's exactly what Justin Fields did in that game.
He pushed the ball downfield a lot.
He had a 54-yard pass, and then he had a nice one in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Guess how many passes
the rest were dink and dunk.
Last week?
DJ Moore had a career game, and it was all on screen passes mostly.
Guess how many passes Bagent had over 10 yards yesterday or this week? Guess how many?
I don't know that number, but I do know that his average per pass was pretty low. So
I can give you the number. It's the amount of times the Detroit Lions have won a playoff game since 1992. 0.
Okay, I'll take that.
So I mean, like I said, it's something. Yeah, it's something that we've got to work and see. I like the kid. Look, I think Brock Purdy kind of changed the way we look at quarterbacks and how they're drafted. Mr. Irrelevant. He's now the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and he's been playing exceptionally well for them. So this is just that next evolution with a guy that, because he came from Division II, a lot of NFL teams probably wrote off. Division II guy. But he's proven that a Division II guy can do it. And if he does well again this week in prime time against the Chargers, and he continues to be what we want, and the Fields is also not what we want, and we move on, I really think they would go to Purdy as a starter, because, like you said, he's Getsky's guy.
You mean Bagent?
Yeah, they'll go to Bagent because he's Getsky's guy, right? And I don't think if we're drafting a quarterback at that point, let's say bye-bye Fields, if that's what we're saying, for sake of argument here, they're not drafting a quarterback in the first or second round because they're not going to feel that to be their pressing need. They're going to get a quarterback later in the draft to be the backup to Bagent.
Tyson Bagent is going to be the starter if Justin Fields shits the bed, and Ryan Poles is not going to go out and look for a frontline starter for his team. And I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about Brock Purdy, and I know that Tyson Bagent went to a Division II school, Shepherd University. But I'm going to tell you, there's only been one quarterback that's been a quality starter in the NFL in the last 30 years that came from a Division II school, and that's John Kitna. So the odds that Brock Purdy will even pan out in this league are against him. Brock Purdy is not panned out yet. Don't write it off yet that Brock Purdy is a bona fide starter in this league, because that is not the case. We could see Sam Darnold at any moment if this kid falters again. And with Tyson Bagent, if Justin Fields shits the bed, you bet your ass Ryan Poles is going to be looking for a quarterback. For what? To keep his own job. He's going to be looking to draft a quarterback. Russell Wayne, you got anything to add to this?
Secret Bagent, man.
Anything other than that?
Oh gosh, you know what, the Bears deserve their flowers. I'll say that they you go out there, and I don't know if Bagent's the answer or whatever, but it can't be any worse than what you've had out there with Justin Fields. And the kid, he's got a little bit of moxie there. Kurt Warner was bagging groceries one day and came in, and he was an NFL quarterback, and maybe he could take the Bears to the promised land. I don't know. But that's a good win for you guys. You guys deserve to pump your chests out for a week and go out there and do your thing, Ken Doby. Do your thing.
What's funny? The biggest story to me isn't even Bagent having a great game. It's that a rookie right tackle completely shut down one of the most lethal defensive ends in the league in that Bears game.
Mm-hmm. We're
talking about a man who the week prior ended the game by getting scoring a safety. I guess that's how you would say it, scoring a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Max Crosby didn't exist. Crosby did not exist in this Bears-Raiders game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Completely erased him from the game. I think the Bears coming into this after the season, we've got a long season to go yet. Maybe we go on a Lions tear like you guys did last year and have a good back end, which would be great. I think if we have one of the top 2 picks, we're drafting a wide receiver, a certain kid from Ohio, who's a junior, whose dad was a senior, and also in the league, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I think we're going for an edge rusher, and then we'll go to work on the trenches some more if the quarterback situation is solid, which I think it will be. I think that's where the Bears are headed. I mean, Darnell Wright was a beast this week. Polls from the first 2 years he's been in, the guy nails talent as far as the draft. And he missed on Claypool, you could say. But everyone's going to miss. Overall, the talent he's bringing in has been really solid. So I'm liking where this team is going, just like how you guys have liked how the Lions have been built. So we're tracking. These little sidesteps, Fields, Bagent, whatever, that's okay. But overall, you can see where this is going talent-wise, and it looks good. And beating the Raiders, who are a team that are up and down, great. I'm happy. I'll take the win. I'll always take the W. I think this will be a great game on national television Sunday night for the Bagent story, number 1. 2, the resurgence of the Bears defense. And this offensive line is a lot better than we give it credit for. I think we'll all get to see. You guys will get to see that this Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is Ken Doby, a Bears fan. This is NFC North Talk, football talk with Russell Wayne. We're talking to Ken Doby. He's a Bears fan. Put it in the comments. What do you think? Should Tyson Bagent be the starter in Chicago? We got a great comment here from a Bears fan. This is Rajanice, who says Bagent can play in this league. Justin Fields can play in this league. So both of these are viable options. However, I firmly believe that Matt Eberflus is going to be canned at the end of the year. I believe there's absolutely nothing this guy can do to save his job. That's just my opinion. And when they do bring in a whole new regime of coaches, guys that Ryan Poles has appointed, we don't know what they're going to do at the quarterback position. It's pure speculation at this point. Put it in the comments. Let us know what your speculation is about the Bears' future. And whatever you're watching here, if it's a video on YouTube or on the Villain Squad or in Facebook, wherever it's at, please like the video. It really helps us out. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's at Main Event 365, or follow our Facebook group. It's Detroit Lions Villain Squad. I am Main Event Mike, and every Monday night, of course, we host Open Mic Night for the NFC North. It's a semi-trash talking show. It used to be a trash talking show till I ran everyone out. So now we just talk about football Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And, of course, we're here every weekday at 11 a.m. with Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Let's move on now. Before we do move on, I wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of things, though, on this Bears. I got ahead of myself. The biggest stats that stick out for me for this Bears team was 8 of 13 on third down. Now, how come Justin Fields can't be 8 of 13 on third down? Is it play calling? Tell me, Ken, why? Why is Bagent able to go 8 of 13? Is it the competition?
No, it's play call, it's position. Bears this last week had a lot more manageable third downs because the running game was on point. In fact, the running game was really on point for the Bears. So 3rd and 3s are different than 3rd and Bears, which, I call anything past 10 yards.
3rd and Bears.
It's first and 20. Oh, no, it's 1st and Bears. So, Fields has had a lot more of the longer third down conversions than we did last week. Look, the game worked well for the Bears overall. I think it'll be a good test to see where we are against the Chargers, which is a better coach team. I think they're just a better team than the Raiders. The Raiders they're one of those teams, like one week they're great. They're like the 80s Lions. One week that 80s Lions team would come in and kick your ass. The next week, you could go there and you'd kick theirs. It's like, which one are you getting? So, it'll be interesting to see how we do with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Brandon
Brandon Staley, coach of the Chargers, on the hot seat for sure. His team's been underperforming according to their roster. Josh McDaniels, one of the worst coaches in the league, in my opinion. So 2 weeks in a row, you get two teams where Eberflus probably won't be out coached. So that's a positive for Chicago for sure. Another stat that sticks out to me is the Chicago Bears overcame 9 penalties in that game. Las Vegas only 2 penalties. That's a testament to the coaching when you can overcome the penalties, but it's also an indictment on the coaching when your team commits 9 penalties.
Yeah.
So I really don't see Eberflus surviving into next year. The Bears have never fired a coach mid-season. So it would be surprising if they did that. I want to get your thoughts now, Ken, as we transition to this huge victory by Minnesota over San Francisco. Does that make them legit contenders to win this division now?
No, it just reiterates how good of a quarterback Kirk Cousins is and how important he is to that team.
Agreed.
I don't think that makes them a contender all of a sudden any more than Green Bay is a contender. Our division right now has one team that's a contender for the division, and that's about what they're a contender for. And it's got 3 teams in flux. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, I don't know why they haven't signed him yet. Pay the man, give him some money. He wins you games and keeps you in games. They beat a good San Francisco team without one of their top weapons. But you know what? It's Kirk Cousins, man. He's that team. Without him, it just blows my mind how many, and we've seen the Viking fans get rid of Kurt. We don't care. Get rid of Cousins, and we're sitting here like, what is crack that cheap in Minnesota that you guys are smoking that much of it? I mean, Kirk Cousins wins games for you. He keeps you relevant. Why are you not paying this man?
I agree 100%. He's been carrying this team all season. With all the depletions they've had on their roster, it's been Kirk Cousins has gotten them to this 3 wins. I mean, the Carolina game, the defense bailed them out. The defense has been playing over their head in Minnesota. I think Brian Flores is as advertised. He's getting the most out of a thin roster and keeping them in games as well. So between Brian Flores and Kirk Cousins, that's the two best things they've got going for him. And I agree with you, Ken. It blows my mind why Viking fans want to get rid of this guy. I mean, let's face it, our 2 franchises, if Kirk Cousins played for the Lions or the Bears, he'd be like the greatest quarterback we've ever had in our history. And we'd have statues of him around the stadium probably.
I know why they haven't paid him.
Tell us.
You paid the tight end $17 million. Then you paid another tight end $8 million. You have to pay Justin Jefferson $30 million. That's why they're not signing Cousins.
Yeah, but Russell, it's their fan base. Like Sarah, she comes on the shows and she's like, I can't wait to get rid of this bum. And we know Sarah's on all, she's on the shows a lot, making comments. So we know. And she's like, get rid of the guy. And I'm like, I don't get. Rob will tell you, get rid of him. I don't know what it is with Vikings fans with their hatred for Kirk Cousins.
I don't get it either, Ken.
They don't win games.
You know what, Ken? I don't get it either because Brad Holmes said something that rang through Lion fans' head when they were bitching about Goff. He said it's a lot easier to get worse at the quarterback position than it is to get easier, better. Yeah, it's not that easy to get better, especially when you have a Kirk Cousins at quarterback. I don't know. I mean, you better hit on that draft pick or whatever it is you think you got. But
Yeah.
I love this comment from Bear Down Mike in regards to the quarterback situation in Chicago. The locker room will tell you which QB they want throwing the ball, right? The players will band together and say, get rid of this Fields guy. He's a chump. Let's let the kid play. Or they're going to say, hey, he's just a backup, like Ken Doby says. I love that comment.
Or they say, hey, we like them both. I mean, they can say that too. I think, well, we'll talk about it tonight more extensively, I'm sure.
What do you mean tonight? Tell us what you mean by you'll talk about it tonight.
Tonight, Hal's Hall Report, 7:30. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah. 7:30 tonight, Hal's Hall Report. We'll definitely be talking about this. And Mike brings up a good point. The locker room does drive the train. I don't think the locker room has a dislike for either of these quarterbacks. I think both quarterbacks are well liked in Chicago. I think the great thing about Badger, guys are just up because it's a great story. It's such a guy, like you said, coming out of a D2 isn't drafted. No one thinks so. Guys are naturally going to pull because we love the underdog. So yeah, I think it's good for Chicago. It's some good energy for Chicago. We'll see how that goes. And conversely, going back to staying on point with the Vikings, they've got great energy. The guys love Kirk Cousins, and that's a great point that Mike brings up for the Vikings, because the players love Cousins, right? I don't get why the fan base is so anti-Kirk Cousins. You know what, Mike? I would say if Kirk said, you know what, Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, $1, you're mine.
$1.
I just want to beat the Vikings. We pay it. We pay whatever you want. You want how much? $30 million? Here you go. I think any of our teams would pay it because he's been worth. And how many quarterbacks can you say this about, Mike? He's been worth every penny Minnesota has paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
If anybody sees,
and I'll tell you a stupid answer, guys. A stupid answer to that question on why they don't like that quarterback is because he doesn't escape the pocket and do sexy things when the play breaks down. But here's the thing: that is like 10% of the game.
Yeah,
like maybe even less than that, less than 10%. And what he does do is the other 90%, where he has to manage the game, find open receivers, distribute the football. He's really, really freaking good at that. But what people want is the sexy 10% of the plays. That's the stupid answer.
No, and you know what? You're right, though, Russell, because look at when Jordan Love was going to became the starter in Green Bay. Well, he's not like Aaron. He can extend plays, so we're going to see no drop-off. They're keen on that 10% sexy. Oh, this kid's young and can run the ball. Okay,
yep.
That's that 10% sexy, that 90% that matters, that wins you games. Jordan Love can't do it.
Yep. How does that 10% feel when there's 3 L's involved in those plays? Congratulations. You got a quarterback that can get 40 yards rushing in a game. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is going to be one of those guys. He'll get in the Hall of Fame, maybe without a ring, but his numbers support it. He's one of the few quarterbacks in this league with hyperinflation of contracts that you can say the 20 some million a year he's been getting paid, whatever. He's earned every penny of it. He's been worth every penny of it. He's not a controversial guy who's going to go out there and put your team in a bad light by saying stupid stuff or doing stupid stuff. I mean, he's a family guy, teams like that. I'm like, what's wrong with this Kirk Cousins guy that Minnesota fans don't like? And you hit it, Russell, because they key in on that 10%, which is a football stupid answer.
It's probably less than that. I mean, honestly, I'm just making that number. I think
it's a good number, though.
That where the plays break down like that. But here's the real question, Ken. You sound pretty keen on one Kirk Cousins. Would you trade Kirk Cousins for Justin Fields straight up? Right now. Let's go.
He's the best quarterback in the league. So, yeah, you almost have to, if you're going to win, well, Yes and no, Russell. Because here's the thing: if my
Oh,
situation,
jeez.
well,
Oh,
here's the
God.
thing.
Waffle.
I'm
Waffle.
barfing on that answer
No.
already,
Here's the
Ken.
thing, because like,
Yes and no.
Waffle.
Give me a freaking
it's
break.
situational football, Russell.
Help, Mike.
If I'm gonna win now, in the window now, if I'm gonna win now because I'm in my window now, yes. I'm not in my window now, so it's a wasted trade because I've got more longevity out of Fields than I'm going to have out of Cousins.
Right.
It's a presumption.
Right, and
So-
that's where
Cousins
I would go.
veto it
That's where
anyway.
I would go. If I were the Bears, I would not trade Kirk Cousins for
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
Now, if I'm in
Even
my
though
window-
Kirk, I know you said best in the league, but I know you meant best in the division.
Yeah.
Best quarterback in the division. But he's 35 years old, right? 34 years old. And with upside and trade value, I
And he
think
can't
Justin
extend
Fields.
plays.
I think Justin Fields has way more upside. He's a slippery guy. I mean, there's another team out there that will give you some major collateral for Justin Fields, and I don't think I would trade for Kirk Cousins if I were the Bears. If I were the Jets, I would.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys both for making my point. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you're in the window, if you're in the window, you definitely. But if you're a team that's 2 years out, a year, 2 years out, maybe you don't.
It just sounds so funny to me. It's like, oh well, should I trade a quarterback for one of the best quarterbacks in the league? Well, he's old and damn, that Justin Fields is slippery.
Well, no, but Russell, it's coming down to where you were at situationally in the league. Like if I'm the Lions, I would take that because you're in the window, right?
You're taking
If
this
I'm the
way too
Niners,
serious.
if I'm San Francisco, I make that trade. I'm in the window. I can win this year. You know, I mean, so there are a couple teams that, you know, are you going to trade Jalen Hurts for him? No. Are you going to trade, Mahomes? No. But I mean, there are some teams that are in that window that you go, if I get this guy, I'm winning the Super Bowl. So you make the trade because you're winning the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
Is the feel. But if you're the Bears, you're going, I'm not winning the Super Bowl this year, even with Kirk Cousins. So why am I going to give up capital and longevity?
Well, for one, he's only 35 years old and he's a pocket quarterback. It's only running quarterbacks that play 4 years in the league. So the thing is like what I think is what most people do is they fall in love with that run ability and that slipperiness, and they forget that the quarterback needs to know how to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, this is Football Talk with Ken Dobie. We are broadcasting live. Oh, wait. This is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Ken, you said the Hallis Hall report's on tonight. You said 7:30. Is that Eastern Central? Tell us.
No, we're normal. We're normal people. We do Central Time Zone.
So what time is it then?
7:30 Central.
7:30 Central.
For you in the Eastern Time Zone, you're at 8:30. We're at 7:30.
Thanks for clearing that up for me, Ken.
and actually, I'm so much more confused now that you guys have brought it up. So thank you for both that.
Well, it doesn't take. Well, let's be fair though. Well, let's be fair, Mike. It doesn't take much to confuse Russ.
You really tried to make fun of us. You really just tried to make fun of us right there, Ken, and really you just confused everybody that you just advertised to. But that's all right.
7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
Thank you.
So there you go, Bear Down Mike. He put it in the comments asking about if there was a show tonight. I'm assuming he means a Bears show because he's a Bears fan. We got a lot of comments. We're falling behind, way behind here. Russ, should we attack them? What do you think? Don't forget if you're listed as a Facebook user, it's because you didn't give StreamYard permissions, and we can't say your name or show your profile pic. So some of you, I'm sure that's a good thing, but be sure to give StreamYard permissions, and that way we will be able to address you properly.
And let's get off the Bears. As much as I love the Bears, there's so much more that went on in the NFC North. I mean, the Packers drop again. That's a thing. The Lions, you guys called it. I'll give you credit. You guys said it could be a trap game coming into it, so I'll give you some credit. But that was a big game. But more than anything in the division, besides this Kirk, why they want to get rid of Kirk in Minnesota is I'm starting to see out of Packer Nation do you want a Caleb Williams draft in the first round? They're looking, their fan base starting to ask the question, do we draft the quarterback and jettison Love? And Mike, you and I have both been verbally assaulted by many a Packer fan this year, telling us how great and how lauded Jordan Love is going to be. And now isn't it ironic that after week 6, 7, we're starting to see we need to get rid of Jordan Love and draft the guy thing in Green Bay?
Can I give you something there? Ken Doby and Bear Down Mike, Mike the Bear fan. I got to give the Bear fans credit because I really wanted to see how this was going to play out with how fan bases are going to act when their teams lose and when their teams win. You guys, the Bear fans, have stayed true. They've came out every week. They've been on this show talking their smack even after the losses, even at 1-5. You guys were out here, and the Packer fans completely ghosted after like losing 2 games, and they didn't really come out, and they weren't accountable for the pounding that the Lions put on them. So that's just something I wanted to point out. So I appreciate Bear fans this year.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, Ken, they lauded him how great Jordan Love was going to be. Then they came out and destroyed the Bears in week 1, and they were screaming it from the rooftop. Y'all are in trouble. Oh, it's a third Hall of Famer. And now, as the slide goes, Ken, you don't even know how bad it is. The Green Bay Packer fans have asserted themselves, in my opinion, as the softest fans I've ever seen in my life. Yep. Not only are they ghosting on the show where they were talking all that smack, they pulled me out of all the groups, pulled me out of all the chats because I was hammering them, and they just didn't want to hear it anymore. That's not fair. We've been your punching bag for 30 years, the Detroit Lions. Now Lions fans get a little bit of turning the tables, and you run with your tail between your legs. So, yeah, to your point, Ken, absolutely, it's ironic. It's hilarious, actually. Green Bay Packers fans, you're the softest I've ever seen. Challenge me. Come out on Monday nights and prove me wrong. I know you'll be like whack-a-mole, and as soon as your team wins, you'll pop up, and then you'll lose and you'll go back down again. I know. That's okay. I'll be here with the mallet ready to whack you again. Hold on, before you go on, Ken, I want to pose a question to you.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings go into Lambeau Field this week. What do you like? What are you seeing from that game? You can finish that other thought ahead of that if you want.
Yeah, it's been easy for Packer fans with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks over 3 decades. And after they bash you with that, they say, but we win trophies. Okay, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, 3 decades, a whole 2 trophies. You didn't do a lot of winning. Now, look, you did win. We'll give you credit, but 2. Now, coming to this week, Kirk Cousins marching in on a high after beating San Francisco, which is a much better football team than Green Bay. I think they beat Green Bay. I think Green Bay continues its slide. And, it's funny because Green Bay defensively has trended the wrong way. Offensively has been trending the wrong way. Minnesota, I think beating a badly prepared Bears team the week prior was the juice they needed. Their defense has played better since that Bears game because they came into Chicago and our offensive game plan was not even in the same game. But I think they're going to beat Green Bay pretty handily. And I think we'll see more of the Jordan Love. Well, Brett Favre didn't do it for 2 years, and it took Rodgers some time. We'll get the excuses, and then we'll get we're going to go and get Caleb Williams, and we're going to trade out for the number 1 pick. No, you're not, because we own it, and we're not giving it to you. You're going to start seeing that kind of stuff out, Packer fans. But look at 30 years they've had winning football. They don't know. A lot of these guys are young. These fans, your Wodges of the world, those Brandon Wodge of these guys in their 20s and 30s, they don't remember the Majkowski days. They don't remember the 80s teams that couldn't find the football field.
Right.
So I mean, it's a learning curve for Packer fans. Lions fans, Bears fans, we get it. Vikings fans are used to heartache as well. Packer fans are like, well, we win divisions. Well, great. But what have you done? And now they can't win a division for a second year in a row. They're a Hard Knocks candidate next year again, which for them is like, oh my God, what? We can be on Hard Knocks?
Yes.
I mean, they've never had to live through it. And look at Packer fans, get used to it. This is going to be used in the next probably 2 to 4 years as you rebuild your franchise, because you all wanted the Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame quarterback gone so bad. You ran him off to New York. Well, guess what? This is what you get. You got Jordan Love. He's not what you thought he was, right? He's not the next Hall of Famer. You're welcome to the NFL. You're going to have to do what the rest of us did, try to figure out this quarterback position. You have been blessed for 30 years. That time is over.
Yeah. I'm more optimistic about Jordan Love than you are, than I know that Russell Wayne is. I think Jordan Love is going to be a quality quarterback in this league. Hall of Fame and all that, the jury's still out on that. But now is the time that us other fan bases get to attack the evil empire because he's stinking it up right now. I do believe, though, I've been on record to say, I do believe that Jordan Love, from what I've seen, is going to be a good quarterback in this league. I think it turned out to be a good draft pick. But like you said, they ran a Hall of Famer out just like they did the last Hall of Famer. They ran Brett Favre out of town as well. And you got to take your lumps in those couple of years as this quarterback develops. I think they are on the right road. I do think Jordan Love will turn into a quality quarterback in this league. Let us know what you think. Put it in the comments. Do you think Jordan Love is going to be a bust?
Let me chime in on this one.
Go ahead, Russ.
Because I wanted to talk about depth right here. At the beginning of the season, we had talked about how Minnesota had lost everybody. But last year they had the 32nd ranked defense in the league right here. So now they have an average defense, and you're seeing a team with a very good offense with average defense play coming in and winning some games now. So what we thought was a problem for them because they didn't have anybody ends up turning into a strength because you have all of these no-name dudes on defense that are actually playing decent together. Now, from the other side of that, you have the Green Bay Packers, who the opposite is happening. You have a whole bunch of young players that you need to direct and put into good situations, but the coaching staff is failing those players right now. And I don't think Jordan Love's all that good because you've been put into high-pressure situations where you could have came back and won games, and you throw interceptions in the biggest moments. You're not making plays in the biggest moments. You're looking silly in the biggest moments. So you're in a prove-it state for me right now, Jordan Love. You need to prove it to me because right now I think you are who you're showing everybody that you are, which is a below-average NFL quarterback, and you're in danger of being a bust because you're not a rookie. You're not a rookie. You've been in the system for 4 freaking years. So I think that because Minnesota is trending in the right direction, they're coming on this big high, I think they will go in and take care of business against the Green Bay Packers.
You know, and part of that problem, though, is the Packer fan base because they all put Love on this high bar. You know, I think when they drafted him, it was the right call. You draft the guy to learn behind, Rodgers. I think they did it in practice. They did it right in Green Bay, the way they did it as far as bringing Love in to learn. Now, I don't maybe not, now we can all say we don't agree with them running Rodgers out of town for Love, but the concept of drafting a guy to sit behind Rodgers, pick his brain, learn, right? Okay, great. But then when he left, they put him on such a high bar. Unless the guy was Rodgers, it's a failure. I agree with you, Russell. I think he could be a good quarterback in this league, but he also needs better weapons. He needs some better protection. He needs some better things. He's got his ace in the hole. This is
wait a minute. Christian Watson's better than Justin Jefferson. Oh my God.
Okay.
I mean,
they've got probably the best running back in the world.
He's got weapons.
He's got the best running back in the division, is what he's got in Green Bay, because that guy will wreck games. He did it in week 1, and when he was out, they couldn't find the field, let alone the end zone. They probably have the best running back in the division right now.
Well, he played in the game against us, and we demolished him. So I don't know.
But he's a game wrecker. He's a running back that can be a game wrecker, and Jordan Love's best weapon. The point being is, Love. I agree with you. He can be a good quarterback. He needs some things. He needs some things, and it shows that. Yeah. What also shows is you can be a good quarterback who's been on the bench learning the game, but getting reps in games is a lot different than just being a backup. That's why I'm happy with Bagent getting basically 2
be
starts.
average before you worry about being good. I mean, he ain't even average right now. This dude is looking like he's a a detriment to the team.
Yeah.
The way that he's been playing the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree. He can be a better quarter. He can be better. He can be good. Like, I agree with you there, but it's just he's got a really good running back. After that,
but, out of the 6 Packer fans that are left out there that are still following the team, some of them are thinking about bringing in Sean Clifford. So it's like that's their mentality.
I don't see that happening, though. They're going to ride Jordan Love out this whole year. He's going to start next year as well. And this comment here by Fred Peterson, I can't tell you how many posts I've seen from Packer fans saying Love is coming into Detroit on Thanksgiving and going to destroy the Lions.
Okay.
That's a tough one for me to swallow, Fred, but you're absolutely right. Our good friend A-Dub, who's a Packer fan, says, I've never claimed that Jordan Love would be a Hall of Fame quarterback. And that's true, A-Dub. And I got to give you your props. You predicted this team would be lucky to win 7 games. They're going to watch their young quarterback develop, and that's exactly how it's playing out. He says, I'm still on the watch and see approach, especially knowing this team wasn't going to be a guaranteed playoff team this year. Even though they do have the best running back in the division, like you said, Ken, they have arguably the best defense in this division. The Lions are trying to lay claim to that as we speak, but last week didn't help that claim at all. But that's a great take, A-Dub. And we know that you are one of the even-keeled, even-minded Packer fans. You're not jumping off a cliff. You're not ready to bury your team. You're not leaving chats. A-Dub, you're still here defending your team. Much respect.
And there are other Packer fans that are out there that are like that too. Like it's just some of them are soft. There's a soft part of the fan base. There's a soft part of the Lions fan base too that I'd love to call out. You guys are so damn wishy-washy. God, I am so glad that the coaching staff doesn't freak out like this fan base does after every damn loss. God, after they win every game, it's like these guys come out with their Lions pictures with armor and stomach muscles and in battle suits and saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. And the very next week, the same people are like, oh, my God, same old Lions. Can't believe it. Oh, they're going to fall. It's like, wow, guys, ride this wave and realize sometimes you get got. You get got. You see it happen in the UFC constantly. 2 championship fights. One guy staggers the other guy. And if he's good, if the other guy is good and you see him staggering, good UFC fighters will put that guy away. And that's what John Harbaugh is. He smelled the blood in the water. 9 plays into the offense. We were down 21-0. I was there. I felt it. We pumped our chests out there for about 5 minutes. And Lamar Jackson took that over. And that's hard for anybody to come back from. And John Harbaugh, he smelled it. He kept the pedal to the metal the entire game. He didn't play any of that ball control stuff. He kept passing and being aggressive. And I thought that was a kudos to John Harbaugh for coming up with the game plan. But I ain't going to overreact to this loss like some of this fan base is.
Alex Smith comes in and says he's a Broncos fan and our defense is horrible. Jordan Love is a joke. Go ahead, Ken.
Look at the Baltimore game for you guys. To your credit, said this could be a trap game. Baltimore's a good team that's been trying to figure out their way. They figured out their way pretty well this Sunday. And look, for Lions fans, I agree with you. Russell. It's like fans seem to think that every game is a Super Bowl. It's a 17-game regular season for a reason. And you're going to have games where you scheme it wrong. The other team has some game records that just wrecked, which is what happened. Sunday was a perfect storm for Baltimore. Everything that they wanted to come together came together. Everything that Detroit wanted to do just wasn't there for whatever reason. It was a humble pie game for fans. For the fans, some of the fans who've been riding oh yeah, we are the best in the NFL. And, we saw the talk when here are the 5-1 teams, who's the best. And Lions fans, oh, we're the best 5-1 team in the NFL. We're going to destroy people. And it was a great humble pie game for the fan base in a sense to reset and go, you know what? This is not easy. This is going to be some work. There's some other really good teams, especially in the AFC. And you just walked into a Baltimore team that's just been, salivating.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, and they got you.
NFL.
Good.
The NFL. I mean,
look at the 85 Bears lost to
years.
Miami. That was a terrible. That Miami team, the Bears lost 285, was a terrible Dolphins team. Only team to beat the 85 Bears.
It happens.
This stuff happens. You're going to lose.
Can we go one show without mentioning the 85 Bears?
Hey,
For God's
that was a
sake.
good reference for you. I mean,
Just
the
one
point being-
show. Just one show. I want to go without mentioning the
point
85
being, though,
Bears.
yeah, but
It was
the point
almost,
being
dude. You
that
made it
team-
50 minutes into this one. I thought it was going to happen, Mike.
That was going to be the record.
I don't really bring up the 85 team much, but it's salient to your team right now because how some of the Lions fans are reacting. It's like people like even the 85 Bears, who people will some say were the most dominant defense, blah blah, all those whatever people are going to say. The only loss they had that year was against a very bad Miami Dolphins team. Sometimes you're going to walk into a game, especially as an away team, and they're going to have your number for whatever reason. Baltimore had your number this week. They gave you some humble pie.
Right.
You eat it. You go back to work on Monday or Tuesday, and you prepare for Green Bay, and you walk in the or you prepare for. No, you guys are you got the Raiders. You prepare for
On
the Raiders.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, on Monday Night Football. You saw everyone on Monday night that this Baltimore game was just a blip on the radar. That's what you do, and that's what they're going to do. I don't see you guys losing to Vegas this weekend.
Right. And thanks,
No,
Ken.
actually, I wouldn't want to be Vegas this week. Honestly, this is why I want Lions fans to pump the brakes on all the negativity. It's like we lost in a spot where we don't normally lose. This is very similar to the Carolina game last year, where the reason that we lost was the normal guys that we can count on, like the offensive line to keep Jared Goff clean. And, David Montgomery's a bigger loss than what people think that he is for a guy that can run in between the tackles. Jonah Jackson on our offensive line was out. So it's like, you don't blame injuries, but this is the reason why you have depth throughout the season to get, some of these guys back. But they took advantage of it, man. And it was out there. It was apparent.
And I would assume the Lions are buyers at the trade deadline. This is also where you look, say, okay, maybe I need to trade for some depth going into this run because look at the Lions feel that they're in the window, and rightfully so. You're in the window right now, so you could do something no Lions team has ever done in the history of the Detroit Lions. And that's hoist the Lombardi. So now your front office can say, okay, wow, Montgomery was really that important. We need some more depth, maybe in the backup running back. Is there some? Look at the Bears just stole a guy off a practice squad, right? Is there a practice squad guy we can steal off somewhere to give us some better depth? Is there, that's what's great about a game like that you just had on Sunday. It lets you evaluate some depth and say, okay, maybe I need to get some guys, or maybe they just got us because of game plan.
I don't think it was a depth problem, though. I mean, and Dan Campbell is well documented on saying that he likes the team where it's at, and I don't see them going out and making any kind of big move. And a lot of it is that we need to get these guys that are healthy. I would love to get healthy more in the secondary position, get this offensive line healthy. So after this Monday night game, we're going to get a much needed bye to get some of these guys that are healthy. And maybe we can run into, the next week after that, after the bye, going out and playing the Chargers. We could have like a full complement of offensive line and, get some of them secondary pieces up and, up to speed too. So we need it.
And before some guys get too much, pumping the brakes about championship talk, look at, I'm just saying the Lions are in their window. Thank you. They have the opportunity. They're going to win the division. Odds are they're winning this division. Odds are they're a playoff team. Therefore, they're in the window. So they have the opportunity to do what they've never done. First off, they have the opportunity to do what they haven't done in over 30 years, and that's win a playoff game. Then they also have an opportunity, because they're going to make the playoffs, to win a Super Bowl, which has not happened often in Detroit. But they're in that window right now. They've got a team that
it's a first of 5 years too. I think this is at least a 5-year window. And if Hendon Hooker pans out and ends up being that developmental quarterback and comes into that, it could be 10-year window.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you guys are in a good position right now. You should be feeling good. And I wouldn't let a demolishing by a usually very good Baltimore team, a team that's been traditionally good over the last 2 decades. to say, oh my God, freak out in Detroit. No, you had a bad day.
I would like you to find me anybody that's out there that wants to challenge that and say, I would like you to find me a defense in the NFL that can contain Lamar Jackson when he's playing and throwing the ball like that. Sorry, but that was a good display, accurate passes coming out of the pocket. They've been training him to be in the pocket because I think they want him to be around for a while. So I think that he's coming into his own.
We are coming up against it here, so I want to get a few things in while we've got Ken Dobie on. So, Ken, right now, the Chicago Bears going out to Los Angeles to play the Chargers next week. The Chargers are an 8.5-point favorite. I need you to go out on a ledge and tell me, should I take the 8.5? No. You're saying take the Chargers and lay down the 8.5.
I would say it's not. I don't think it's going to be an 8.5. I think it's going to be a closer game than that. The one thing that's getting lost in all this Bears talk about Badgett is how great the defense has been the last couple of weeks. How much better this defense is getting. This defense is getting better, and it's a defense that didn't allow Kirk Cousins to do much the week prior. The Bears lost because the offense was not schemed and was terrible. The defense really held the Vikings in check. This defense is actually pretty good. It's getting good, I should say. Not that it's pretty good, it's getting good. So I think this is going to be a pretty close game.
Okay. I disagree. I think the Chargers are going to beat the brakes off the Bears out there because it's a hard place for all teams to go out there, especially NFC North teams. When they go out west, they get beat bad, it seems like. I think the Chargers have been underperforming, and they're in the same position that Chicago was in when they beat down Washington on primetime because their coach is on the hot seat. I think the Chargers beat the brakes off the Bears. I say lay down the 8.5. Russell Wayne, what do you like? Chargers minus 8.5?
Oh gosh, you know me and all these points, dude. It's like I do think that the Chargers are going to win the game because I don't think that these guys are way underperforming. Justin Herbert, I do believe, is a better quarterback than is what's being shown out there, and that defense has got a lot of stars on it. And I don't know. I do think that the Chargers win the game, but I don't think that they cover all those points.
That's about what Ken said. Ken said take the Bears and the points. Isn't that right, Ken? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is funny. This game, this is what's funny about the NFL season because in preseason, I think we all just gave this game to the Chargers. But this is what's great about the NFL. Now it's become
I'm giving the game to the Chargers.
But I mean, we thought that this is a no-brainer game. We were like, this is a no-brainer Chargers game. Now this game's a little more interesting because of some things that have happened with both teams. That's what I love about the season. We take our preseason and we look back and it's like, wow, it's totally different. This game is going to be
still
Ken. Sorry, Ken. If that were true, this line would be 3 or 4. Vegas would not put them at an 8.5-point spread unless this is going to probably be a beatdown.
Well, let's be honest, Mike. NFC North teams never get love from Vegas or ESPN or anyone else. Midwest teams in general don't get love unless you're Green Bay in the past.
Well, and since you said Green Bay, let's move on to that. So just for if you're keeping score at home, I got the Chargers. These two got the Bears with the points. The Vikings at Green Bay is even. Okay, so there is no point spread. It's an even pick 'em. I like the Packers to hold serve at home against Minnesota. They're going to come down off of that cloud after a tough game against San Francisco. I mean, those are some tough guys out there that they're up against. I think they're going to be a bit beat up. Packers coming off the bye at home. They're going to be looking to rebound. And what seems more likely to you, that the Packers go to 4-4 or excuse me, to 3-4, or the Vikings go to 4-4? I think the Packers win this game. Ken Dobie, what do you say?
I got the Vikings. They're hot right now. They're feeling it. The problem for Green Bay is that they don't have the answer for Cousins. Their defense is slipped just as well as their offense has. The defense, for a bunch of no names, like Russell said, I guess it was addition by subtraction to a certain degree. They're just trending in the right direction right now. I hate to say it, but I'm taking the Vikings over Green Bay.
Russell, what do you think? Even pick, Vikings at Green Bay.
You could give me 7 points, and I would still take the Vikings to cover that. I think the Vikings are an ascending team right now.
Okay, so again, you guys agree I'm the only one going against
in this
the grain?
league, and he was an undrafted agent.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I think you're having some audio problems.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think that the Vikings are just an ascending team. I think that, yeah, I got the Vikings. You could even give me 7 points, and I'd still take the Vikings to cover.
Holy moly. Okay, last one now. Detroit Lions at home against the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. The Lions are an 8-point favorite. Ken Doby, who you like here?
I'll take the points.
You'll take the Raiders in 8?
I'm the Lions are going to win big.
So you're going to lay down the 8 against the Raiders. Russell, what do you think?
You can tell that Ken's not a gambler because he's like he's getting it. I can tell he's getting it as it going on, but Ken doesn't do that. But no, I think the Lions cover this game, win big, and be violent and physical the entire game.
I like the Lions to win this game as well. I think 8 points is a lot. And if they come out swarming the way they have, I also think they win by 10 or more. So we are aligned there on that one. Let's
That's a bad thing. You know what happens when we're all aligned? Someone loses.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Or we're all smart.
Yeah.
That never happens.
Fred agrees with me. Love stinks. But I think he takes the Vikings at home. I agree. They are coming off of Vikings found another Justin Jefferson, according to Brent. Yeah, Jordan Addison looks like the real deal. Ken, you got any thoughts on this kid?
Yeah, he's been looking good. I mean, we knew he was good coming out of the draft, and we all said, why? You already got Jefferson. I mean, but no, it was a good pick. I mean, he is a legit weapon. He's in the talk for offensive rookie of the year for sure.
Yeah, if CJ Stroud falters, it might be, but if CJ keeps going the way he is, I think he's a lock.
Well, he's in the talk is all I'm saying. I mean, he's any other year, if you have a Stroud performance like he's doing, he's the runaway with it. He's putting up good numbers. Good numbers.
Brent says take the Chargers and lay the points. Detroit Daniel says player prop is the way to go. you might be right there, Dan.
That's a great one. We should get into the player prop show. Mike, I got to give you credit because the Monday morning show that you did without me while I was here, that was really, really good with you guys. I love the way that you were coming in with some of the Vegas stuff. Then that might be your shtick, man. You might need to come on here and you lead a show that is based all off of the bets and the props and the stuff like that. That would be fun as shit to me.
Yeah, I've lost enough money in my life to know what I'm talking about, I think.
We could tell you what not to do.
Yeah, well, last week I took a player prop. I took Jameson Williams over 1.5 catches. I lost.
Oh, my gosh.
He could not catch one ball, let alone 2. So very disheartening to lose. That seemed like easy money to me. We knew, and he got plenty of targets. I think they gave him 5 targets in the game. Yep. The target was there. It seemed like a lock, a great bet, but that's how it always does with betting. It's a slippery slope, folks. Never gamble more than you can afford to lose. That is my God's honest advice to you if you want to get into the gambling sphere. So we still got 29 viewers here on this platform. I love that. Thank you, everyone, for watching us today.
Do some promos. Damn.
It's Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Put the wrong one up there. It's the King of Sting. That's me, Main Event Mike, NFC North Open Mike, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 6 o'clock for you Central Time Zone trolls. Follow us on Facebook at Villain Squad, and also subscribe to us on at Main Event 365 on YouTube. We are here every weekday morning at 11 a.m. It's Football Talk with Russell Wayne, my compadre. And by the way, if you are in the betting sphere, Russell Wayne is an astounding. Russell does not bet. Okay. But when he makes predictions and lock predictions, he's spot freaking on. Last year, he went 13 from 8 for 18. At that percentage, he would be the greatest handicapper in the world if he were able to keep that up for 3 years straight. And I'm not exaggerating or kidding when I say that. The best prognosticators in the world can only hit 56% regularly. So to go 13 out of 18, and this year, folks, he's 5-2. So if you got some money to play with and you want to put a bet down, sports gambling is now legal in most states, especially here in Michigan. Follow us and check us out and get Russell Wayne's lock picks because he is quite amazing when it comes to that. But right now, I think we're going to jump off of here. Appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate everyone in the comments. Be sure to follow us and check us out tomorrow morning. I'm Main Event Mike for Russell Wayne and Ken Dobie saying God bless each and every one of you. Peace out, my friend.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.